Milk tart, also known as melktart in Afrikaans, has for centuries been a well-known staple of most South African kitchens. It is believed to be dated back as far as the 16th century, when a recipe named mattentart was recorded in Een Notable Boeken van Kokeryen, a notable book of cookery, published by Thomas van der Noot around 1514. It of course made its way to South Africa with the Dutch settlers in the early 1600s when they first arrived in what is known today as Cape Town. Cinnamon was also later added to this custard-based tart thanks to the culinary influences of the Cape Malay culture in Cape Town. There are at least 4 different main versions of this beloved South African dessert, with the short crust version being considered the traditional recipe. It consists of a short crust base which is baked in the oven beforehand. It can also be blind baked if it contains baking powder. The custard is cooked beforehand and added to the base. Then it can be placed in the fridge or baked again in the oven. A second popular version is using a puff pastry base. Again, the pastry will need to be blind baked because of the fact that the dough will rise when it is baked. The custard will be made beforehand and simply added to the pastry after it has been baked in the oven. And also, like the short crust, it can either be refrigerated or baked in the oven again. A third popular version is the cookie crust base version. And again, like the puff pastry and short crust base before it, it can either be refrigerated or baked after the pastry has been baked and the custard has been cooked. The fourth and final version that we will have a look at is the crustless milk tart. And as its name suggests, it has no crust, so therefore it can only be baked in the oven, and the baked milk tart will form its own crust. There are many different recipes, but it all comes down to what type of milk tart you are after. Want something that's rich and creamy? Then a fridge version might be your best bet. Want something that's a little bit more firm? Then any of the baked versions might be to your liking. A nice flaky crust, my personal favorite, puff pastry base. It really doesn't matter which one you prefer. As long as it has a healthy sprinkling of cinnamon, it should be delicious any way you make it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post a recipe video every week, and I've also included a link to a video for a delicious puff pastry milk tart in the description below. See you in the next video.